Hey guys, it's Tarkin coming at you with another game of hardcore Minecraft. And it's day like 750 or something. We can't actually see anymore. It's pretty sad, but what are you gonna do? They took it away, little by little. They take everything from us, but they also give. And so, you know, the Copper Age is upon us. The vault has been expanded somewhat. And down here, the copper golems work. Right now, they're just, they're just like moving stuff around. They've actually sorted everything. They have put all of the things into individual boxes now. Hey, Poison. Am I doing Geometry Dash soon? I think I'm gonna play some tomorrow. Have you been making more levels? Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm thinking probably like 5 tomorrow. I'm Central Time. So that, like right now it's like 11 p.m. for me. So like 5 p.m. tomorrow is what and I'm probably going to play for like an hour or two. Probably like 2. Working on your biggest one. Cool. Well, I would be happy to try it out. It's probably going to be mostly doing requests if people are on to request stuff, and maybe just like a little bit of trying some level I can't beat in the event that no one's around to ask for a level. Alright, so it's midnight for you. Ah, well, cool, yeah. But yeah, I work tomorrow, but I should be home and ready to do everything. But so what do we need to do? I mean, we don't need to do anything. Everything's fine. Sure wish I could tell what day it is, though. I'm gonna try not to worry about it. It does annoy me. Am I out of rockets? I can't be out of rockets. I've got to have a bunch somewhere. Rockets. All right. See, I knew I had rockets. I wouldn't just be going around rocketless. We got iron. Good. We need to go and survey the guests. Like every time I think about actually doing something, I'm like, no, I'll just fly around. I'll just look at my stuff. Haven't I done enough already? I mean, I haven't. I have not done enough. Not least because all these cherry grows are basically pre-existing. They just look like I would do it because it's totally the sort of stuff I like. But we're just gonna pop in here to Belgatai, make sure he's alright. Oh man, yeah. Got beat up. But we'll feed him some iron bars and now he is totally strong again. We'll run over here and see the fruits of his labors as he protects our herd of horses. Obviously, the other animals are not as concerned. He's just here for the horses. Could go get a bunch of mycelium. And that would be like a little annoying. Not too bad. Wait, no, what? Does it not? Where is all the information? I'm actually super sad. Said you were recommended Roblox. It's hard to learn. Yeah, I've played a couple of games one time with some friends. It was alright, it just... like, abstractly, I think the idea of the platform is more interesting to me than playing on the platform. Hey, Froggy. Yeah, so... just got off work. Man, I am so bummed about this. Maybe there's just like some button I can hit. You said Minecraft is the best OST. Oh, I quite agree. Often, like right now, I wasn't actually I got off work and I wasn't thinking I want to play Minecraft specifically. It's like I want to play something. If I stream Minecraft, then I'll listen to the Minecraft soundtrack. I'm bummed out. The F3 screen, the debug menu, I gotta just like hit a bunch of hotkeys once I get to a safe place. The other day, like I couldn't find the days on it. Maybe that got taken away. Finally got fall break. Awesome, congratulations. It can feel like forever when you have to sit around all day in school. I remember it well, although it's been many years for me. Yeah, so the debug menu, right? You used to be able to see like so much stuff on the screen here. I'll use my hands in front of my face. That'll let you know what I mean. But here, like there's nothing. Where's the bones? You used to be able to look at a block and it would tell you the name of the block and it would tell you all this other stuff. And anyway, we're about to just like hit random things and see, because this update is the only time it have this. So like yeah, local difficulty, it's gone. It's all gone. You know, like the thing you used to be able F3+1. Yeah, that's this thing, which is good. You know, I don't know what any of it means, but it's all very good. And then you know you got that. Like all this is good, but it's not what we want, right? And yeah, because it just happened with this update. So not only is like the day counter gone, there's some other stuff there that's gone. But then, like, all the other things, you know, you used to be able to see, and over here on the right, it would be like, is Enderman grabbable, or whatever. You know, you could see the light level places. It would tell you, you know, we still got angle. But, yeah, because sometimes I would get a lot of, like, ideas from that screen, right? I would see something, it would be like, is bone mealable? And I'll be like, oh, okay, I could bone meal coral, but you can't. You can only do it in certain places. But if I would have tried it, you know, in a cold water place, I would have just thought you couldn't do it. Oh well. That's a bummer. Well, I'll try to overcome my feelings about that by not addressing them anymore. Because I couldn't even... because I didn't know what the block was called, and I still don't know what it's called. It's the red mycelium block in the nether, and I guess I don't need to know what it's called, but I would like to know. F3 and F6 brings up this thing. Oh! They defaulted all of these things away. Day 4, 749. Okay. Cool. Hooray! Good call. What are the other things that I want? Light. Light's a thing we had. Looking at block. Looking at entity. I think those were the ones that I cared about. Yeah. There we go. That's, you know, it's in the wrong order. But that's okay. I can get used to it. Yes. It moved the looking at thing to the right. That's not perfect. Okay, I'll work on it. Because it, like... I'm gonna sound real precious now, but it's in the wrong spot, isn't it? Because, like, the targeted block, that's supposed to be over on the right. I sound like an old man. I've played Minecraft for 1 whole year, and I have strong opinions about where I want the stuff to be. Well, anyway, it's day 749. Thank you, Orange Froggy. Yes, indeed. You have solved all of my problems. I'm gonna go and figure out what that block is called now. Yeah, you know, I liked it better on the other side. It's okay. And also, we probably don't need to go try to get this block while we have so much stuff. I'm just gonna throw some bones in here, and they're gonna end up somewhere. It's gonna be great. Yes. Thank you, Froggy. You have saved the run. Alright, we should start getting some of the stuff out of here that we don't need in the vault anymore, right? Because the vault is for stuff like pottery shards and armor trim, but it's not like for bones and banners and junk like that. All of those can be thrown into this box to never be seen again. Bum bum bum. And like mutton, yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Not the leather boots. Not like them. Like the stairs? No, I mean... temporarily, yes. Say, do I want to hear a story? Hopefully. I'll say yes, and then if it turns out to be a story that I didn't want to hear, I'll blame you for it. I'm just kidding. I'll pretend it never happened. If it's a story I didn't want to hear. So what we could do is actually move these into boxes, but this is just better, right? This is so much better. You just put them into the box, and then they disappear, and later appear somewhere else, right where you want them to be. And with the shards, that's too good to throw away. that is a story. That's, well, I'm glad you got better. TNT? No, we don't need to give the workers bombs. You know, I like to think I have a little more sense than that. What's your entire argument with this kid? No, we don't need to give them the ability to summon demons either. Or evil raids. And you might think, what are you doing here? What we're doing is something that I've been threatening to do for the longest time. We are organizing everything. And when I say we, I mean my very, very important workers who I'm not paying. We're all working hard. Straight from the counter, you just walked up and you said, I'm gonna buy this, and just like Apple chomped onto it. Love that. Oh no, this one lost all hope. They're doing fine. Because, you know, before long, They'll either be totally out of boxes, or this junk will all have a box. And then I can pick up the stuff in that box and put it in another box. And then I'll mail that box to myself. Oh, it was on your counter. She probably wanted to eat that whole onion. And we'll just keep on throwing this stuff down there, and that'll pass for being intelligent. This is everything that we want to do. We shouldn't give them redstone. They can make bombs. We're gonna do it anyway. And now that we're doing that, we can make the wall even bigger in here. I'm like, what's this? Oh, this is under the house now. That makes sense, because it's all under the house. It's like it feels too cramped if there's only one panel to walk. You need two panels in the middle, or it just doesn't feel homey, you know? I've seen the meme of the copper golem putting an item in the regular chest, but it leads to a hopper with the copper chest with Sisyphus. No, I haven't, but I like the idea of that meme very much. We must imagine Sisyphus happy. But yeah, we don't need the warehouse to extend underneath the very wall of our room, you know. So we'll brick it off there. Now, is this like a big enough vault? No, it isn't, but it'll work for right now. You gotta talk about a school or college or whatever story. Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't have one prepared in advance. Perhaps I'll decide on one later. It's not good for me to talk about the past if I haven't already decided what I wish to say. I can sometimes talk too much. Alright. So we can get, like, a bunch of flowers and then put them all in a box down there, and then they'll sort more flowers into that box, which is sort of like what this box is, except it isn't. Does the purple dye... Oh, all the dyes have a different icon now. They have a little... They have a... It looks like a little, like a platter that the bunch of dye is on. It's not just the dye sitting in space. Fascinating. I am an old man. But, yeah, Froggy, you might be in there. Certainly not the oldest. There's a couple people that are, like, basically my age. I don't know if there's anybody older than me that watches. The age of my viewers. Oh, I mean, it would depend on what game I play, but I mean, like, overall on the channel, like, average age of subscriber is probably something like 15, depending on how you mean average. But I would assume the bulk of my, like, viewers numerically are not adults. I just assume that because I think the bulk of my subscribers, like 50% or more, came from Geometry Dash, which, as a fan base, is skewed younger compared to other stuff I play. But I think I play, like, a pretty big, wide range of games, even though they're all, like, famous and popular ones. They don't, like, always have, like, or generally are famous and popular. They don't really have, like, a cohesive thing because, like, I'm not really just, like, one kind of gamer, right? Like, I've always loved lots of different stuff. And since I just basically stream whatever I happen to be playing, you know. But, I mean, some stuff barely anybody watches, and that's, you know, like, I get it. I wouldn't watch me play anything. I don't. I could in my spare time. I could watch myself play Minecraft or whatever. I'm not gonna do that. Or you say it's nice being treated like an adult. Yeah, I as an old person, I can say that, especially in a workplace environment, most people want to be able to treat you like one. Some people, you know, will be a jerk because of your age or whatever. That'll happen through life. You'll find it'll just be a different spice on the feeling depending on what angle it's happening from. But while I've worked at some places where, like, being a conscientious worker didn't matter, basically everywhere I've ever worked, like, if you just, like, you know, kind of tried hard and showed up and stuff, like, you know, that was enough to make people want you to be around. Oh no, a pillager is here. You know what that means, guys. That means we have to plant wheat. The village is now in danger. Did I bring enough wheat seeds? We only have these 64. It should be enough. Alright. This is now a wheat planting stream. We have to protect the village. I bet a sheep came by. I bet a sheep came by and stepped on it. Oh, I bet it was a sheep. I hate sheep. Y'all know that about me. You don't know why. That's not a school story. That story happened before I was in school. But you're not hearing this story today. That's the story for the 1 million subscriber special. No, I'm 39, but I'm just, like, a shockingly immature person. And I have, like... I have a lot of free time to play video games. You know, I go to work. I don't want to brag or anything, but I have a job. I pay my rent, and then I play video games, and that's the part I like. But I often find that I can get along with young people at work very well. Not least because we share a lot of interests. Like, I'll hear them talking about some game, and I'm like, okay, we'll talk about it or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, do you play Minecraft? And I'm like, tell me what you know about Minecraft, kid. And I mean, I've only been playing for like a year, but you know. And then I get to say something fun like, oh, I actually planted a lot of wheat in Minecraft. And then, you know, and then just like inspire them, you know. They're like, wow. But I'll do it like as a trick sometimes too. Like if some high school kid is annoying me, I'll bring up like something that's a mutual interest to distract them. I'm like, maybe you can quit complaining about your mom and we can talk about this sick new update where we have copper golems. Like, did you ever think about that? Did you ever think about being cool? Talking about video games instead of your problems? Nope, that's the key. If you can't understand people, at least you can share mutual interests with them. That's how my life's always been. Alright, I think the rest of the field is fine. I think it was just a little bit on that side that got messed up, because, you know, we're just doing a run through, making sure we don't need to plant any more wheat. Oh, nope, there we go. See? And, you know, that's all it takes. You know, you let a couple of them up, and then the whole thing gets torn. We gotta go home and get some seeds. This is truly a very normal things video. You have 3D printing a piece of building? Oh, cool. I wish I could get into 3D printing. I've never tried, but it seemed too daunting. But I have a couple of friends, because I play like Magic the Gathering and Warhammer 40k and stuff, not like actively anymore, but you know, I know a lot of people that do. And sometimes people would bring in like these super cool things that they made, and then I'm like, wow, that's awesome, I should get one of those. And then I like look into it a little bit. I'm like, oh man, maybe not. That looks like a lot of work. Bye, Poison. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow for Geometry Sundash, which we should be doing. Say you print a lot of D&D and stuff for your friends. Yes, I used to play 40k with this guy who would like make these super cool terrain pieces. Not even like for the games themselves, but he would make like little dioramas, right? And then pose his figures around them. You know, like you know, he would just print like, you know, whatever like story ideas he had for things like that. And yeah. Hey, Cast and Create, how are you? Alright, I don't think there's any wheat seeds here. We kind of need more. Yeah, I guess we'll just go home and get some more. Which way's home? I gotta tell you, I hate that being over there. I'll get over it eventually. I guess I don't need to have on... I don't know. I just want things to be the way they used to be. How long did what take? The wheat field? The digging out this thing? The world? I don't remember. Not very long. That reminds me, I need to... Thanks for reminding me that we need to feed the dog. Dr. Jones! Ah, Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones and Indiana run the place. pork chop for Indiana. He's running the joint. We named the dog Indiana. Sometimes I come up with excellent names for things. The A1 series, cool. I will have to keep that in mind in the event that I ever pursue it again. Alright. This way. Yeah, it's... You know, it's funny how you get used to stuff. Like, just my debug menu being transposed. I'm, like, looking over at the top right. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. You never look there. Hello, I'm behind you. Because, I mean, like, I just have very normal 3D printing related desires, right? Like, I want to make bookends with, like, some famous people's heads, you know? That'd be great. What are we doing right now? I'm either... I think we're just about to plant some wheat, right? Which, not, like, in the wheat world, but here. Because there are some pillagers that were spawning over in the other place, but I might just put that off. It depends on how many seats I have. But other than that, we were just, we've got like a little copper golem warehouse working, which is making my very disorganized room into a slightly more organized room. There's creepers here. I'm gonna make that less true. Do I have arrows? No. Have I ever killed a creeper with a sword? Like twice. Whoops. You see, it doesn't always work. I usually just shoot creepers. Usually I ignore them. I'm under attack. I didn't hear any of that. You always hear a phantom screech. Hostile mobs are on. Huh. Huh. Oh my goodness, they finally did it! Alright, I take back all of my complaints. There's finally a UI audio slider. Alright. Amazing. Maybe the mix on this song is so loud that we can't hear the screech. Oh, yeah, the mix on the song was just very loud. Okay. A witch! Suffer not the witch to live. It's very important to never let a witch live. They can actually be very dangerous, but not if you get rid of them. If you just hit it with a stick attached to a sword several times, all in a row, your witch problem will be over. And if you don't, then you can really, really have a bad time. You're gonna be a Minecraft witch for Halloween? Nice. I wonder what I'll be for Halloween. What day of the week is it? Halloween, I mean. I know what day it is right now. A regular witch? Well, there are no regular witches. I'm sure you'll be a very special, elegant one. Or a terrifying one. It's a Friday. Alas, I guess I'll be at work. What is he doing down there? I'm gonna leave him alone. There's nothing I can do to that poor creeper. He hasn't already done to himself. Alright. Sweets, candy, not rubbish. Well, I say I love sweets to let people know that it's not just candy. I celebrate the whole catalog of sugary treats. What I really liked as a child was like breakfast cereal and then getting like white sugar, like granulated white sugar, and putting that over the top of it anyway. Like sugar frosted flakes, that was my favorite thing. Or like sugar frosted raisin bran. Ah, man, because there's never enough sugar in it, right? But if you added a lot more, and then at the bottom, the milk would like be mixed with the sugar, and it'd be so wonderful. And I love sugar. Sugar's great. Chocolate's very good. I just like sugar. No, not the raw iron. That's ridiculous. Are they frozen in time and space? Oh, they're just searching around. They don't know where to put it. No, they're just getting around to it. Oh yeah, this one's full now. Well, we can. There we go. Have I put honey on them yet? I've waxed one of them. But I don't know which one. So I'm gonna wait for them to oxidize, because the thing is that I believe you use wax just like any other copper block to block it. You use the honeycomb to make the wax. But I think you make it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just use the honeycomb on them and I just thought it was. But yeah. No, you're probably right. You just use the honeycomb. I just thought that you... Yeah. Yeah. I did it for one of them, but the point is, so the first one, he's gonna be, you know, like, in the family. We need him up here. He's gonna be, like, the copper golem of the actual vault, right? Where we are gonna keep stuff like diamonds and emeralds. And then we'll have, like, a box, you know, around here that he'll distribute. And then all the other copper golems, they can do their own thing. They can worry about all that. And so we need them to freeze up first, because the one that we waxed, that's going to be the one who gets a name, right? That's going to be Copernicus or Mr. Jump, because they're excitable little dudes. You know, it takes them a while, but if we spent a lot of time around here, it wouldn't take them too long. And we could make more of them, but at a certain point, you know, we'd be removing their sense of pride and accomplishment in their magnificence. So now gunpowder very obviously has to stay up here. We can't be giving them stuff like gunpowder and TNT. You know, we gotta have a little more sense than that. Giant blocks of metal, of course, takes a while. Yeah, well, it's, you know, they don't have memory, which is fine. You know, I'm not trying to talk down to them. They're doing very well. But, you know, they don't have memory, so... Crimson Nylium. That's the name of it. I recognize it now. Alright, let's go do that for a little bit. When I first got the elytra, I was so afraid that I was gonna, like, splat into a wall. I don't think I've even come close to taking that much damage from it. But I was worried about it. One of the mods, you have mixed elytra and just fight. You know, that is a thing that I would love. One of the totems I popped in this world. It's only been a couple 3, as we say here. But, was in the nether surrounded by Endermen, and I didn't have my armor on. And right, like going from diamond to netherite again, you say. That is fun. One of these days I'll get a mod. Probably. Maybe. Life's very long. I don't play very much Minecraft anymore, really. So distracted with the other things. And Hades 2 is just so fun. And I love Total War so much. And the Silk Song is still like I still got that going on. I've only quit it like once, right? Maybe twice or 4 times. Who's counting? But I only like said I was quitting it once. I mean, like really said it. Playing with a lot of mods to make me extremely happy, or just make me think I'm not playing Minecraft anymore. Yeah, one of my favorite games is Mountain Blade Warband, which was like the first, you know, many hundreds of videos on my channel. I've actually never played vanilla Warband, not for more than 30 minutes. Like, I got it on a free weekend on Steam ages ago, and you know, like 12 years ago, and thereabouts. And I played it for like 30 minutes, and I thought it was so cool, and then somebody told me about a mod, and then I installed it, and I never ever played the vanilla game ever again. I don't even know the names of the factions. I have like 1900 hours into the game. Not like that. What did I do? What's the one thing I learned today? Oh, I don't know that I learned anything, man. I went to work. You know, I saw evidence of a bunch of stuff I already believed. That's how my day was. Pretty normal day. I guess that's the thing. I did see it the other day. I just didn't connect that would be how I could change it. I got scared. I was like, oh no, am I gonna break my world? You went into the Cheesecake Factory and had to wait, and you had to walk to work, and then you got an hour later. Well, I don't know what their normal speed of service is like. That seems like longer than you would want to wait for a cake. But I don't know. I don't sell cakes myself. I've sold people cheesecakes before, but not like professionally. Just like how like you can make, you know, like a friend a cake. You ate some during your break? Was it good? Oh, we've got some eggs. That's good. We'll take them over to the egg box. Now, of course, most stuff in this world isn't very organized, and some of the rest of it is being organized by copper golems, but we know where the eggs are. Because this is the throne of Gaston. He uses antlers for his decorations. And of course, he's got to have plenty of eggs. You know Gaston, he's the one in the red hat. No one flies like Gaston. Gonna reheat your spaghetti. Remember something like, oh, it would have been ages ago, like 17 years ago. I was at one in Miami, and I got like lasagna, and I had never been to one before. And the portion they brought out to me was so gigantic, I just felt like putting my hand over my heart and declaiming like I was in Shakespeare. I didn't. I just ate a lot of it. Then I brought the rest home and ate it later. Good times. That was a great vacation in general. That was the time I went and saw the Hemingway Museum at Key West. A great place if you're ever vacationing in the Florida Keys. You just tell whoever you're with, let's go see Hemingway's house. That's what's hot on the streets. Oh no, I'm under attack. I'm just gonna ride on this little horse. The golems will protect me. I guess we're supposed to sleep in a bed, right? That's what stops the phantoms. The phantom menace. I know I could put a saddle on it, but this is more fun, you know? This sort of, pensive walking around. You know, you just hop on the back of a horse. You're like, you know, where you want to go? Wherever. It's fine. See, I love the environment streams. So thanks, man. They're peaceful. Well, sometimes, till I get all, all myself. But I do like it here. I'm always glad to see you. But yes, one facet of my personality that people sometimes find somewhat perplexing, but I generally treat people of whatever age like adults. Not like infants, but like I will regularly speak to like a small child like I would. Well, I mean, you hear me talk all the time. I just like talk to kids like anything else. Because, and this is going to sound wild, but I've always thought that children are people. And I remember quite vividly being young and people talking to me like I was like, I don't know, not smarter than them. And I always found that very annoying. So I always resolved to not do that. You know, I'm like, I'm not going to try to, you know, talk to people any kind of way. No, I've always thought that people rather sell like children and teenagers short on, you know, their abilities of comprehension and just like sort of like, I don't know, like personhood for lack of a better way to sum it up. You know, a lot of people tend to view young people as like an extension of their own self and morals and values, and less of like whole people with their own interests and priorities. But of course, like due to the realities of you know, childhood and adolescence, it's a difficult thing to navigate, right? Difficult for everybody on all sides of it. There are no parents of young people who sit around saying, man, I just have the best and easiest time raising my kids, you know? But I don't have any, so because I have found in my life, whenever I talk to, you know, like the, you know, kids at a family gathering, you know, friends' kids, whatever, kids I talk to, or like whenever I tutored ESL to elementary school kids, this was a while ago, but, you know, like if you just talk to people, you know, it goes fine. You don't gotta treat them like they're different than you to, you know, make them feel comfortable, I don't think. And plus, I'm like such a giant weirdo that there's no normal way for me to treat people, right? It's not like I have a normal way to deal with adults. Like, I got a way for, like, the cops and one for, like, people who I owe money to. And then, like, you know, everybody else. If I don't have to lie to you. but I feel like a character in a TV show says this, but I like talking to kids because, like, when they're bored, they'll just tell you. I often, because of the polite, like, constructs in interpersonal communications, like, and because I'm so me, like, I just, like, won't notice if people are bored. And a kid will just tell you, and you don't have to be like, oh man, am I losing them? Why are they not coming down to let me hit them with my sword? So the picture was super energetic to everybody like kids. Yeah, you know, it's... You never want to criticize somebody for how they're trying to make a living. And I do understand that on a very common level, you know, especially as you get bigger, like, this is a way to make a living, although it can never start that way, and that's very fascinating too, you know. As if you could just, like, play tennis at your neighborhood court and then one day be a professional, which I guess theoretically could happen. That's the story of Happy Gilmore, only not tennis. But I just figure this it might sound preachy, but, like, I feel like if you have to pretend to be something you're not, you have to pretend every day. But, like, I'm surly. I like to go on tangents. I like to talk about history and poems. I repeat myself a lot. I ignore people sometimes. That's who I am, and that comes across in my streaming too. And by that token, if somebody is okay with that, then they'll always like me. You know, because I don't try to convince anybody to. They get to choose. I'm like, are those a bunch of zombies over there? That's not ideal. Yeah, they can be very hard years for sure. I didn't have a great time, you know, whenever I was that age. No, I remember a dude that I worked with at the library. I worked at the public library, like, through high school. And I worked with a dude there who was, like, not like an old person. He's not as old as I am now, you know, but he would have been, you know, like in his earlier mid-20s. And just him being, like, a regular dude. I remember that made a big impact on me, too, because, like, you know, when you... Especially because, like, that was my first real job, and I had other ones, but they were, like, helping out on, like, construction sites, or, like, working at a dairy farm with my cousins. So, like, my experiences working with people older than me was usually they were just, like, picking on me a lot. Because, you know, it was always, like, family and friends of family and stuff until this, so it was nice seeing that somebody would just... I was like, oh, you mean, like, I work somewhere and people don't get to just, like, be a jerk to me? My mustache at high school, though, it didn't exist. I was in, like, junior ROTC for a couple of years where I wouldn't have been allowed to have one, and then I got out of that, you know, in the last... that would have been, like, 9th and 10th grade is when I was in junior ROTC, right? Yeah. And I think I got out of it then. But, so I wouldn't have been I wouldn't have been able to, like, grow a proper mustache. I didn't have one. I didn't want one either. I only first got this mustache just, like, a couple of years ago. But in high school... for some period of it, I, like, spiked my hair, you know, like, sort of pop punk sort of thing, because I was very into that. And then, you know, I would, you know, buzz my head and stuff too. Like, ever since I was a little kid, this was basically my hairstyle, only slightly longer. It's like, even like, long before I was bald, by preference, I had just, like, a very short buzzed head for much of my life. Basically all through childhood, and then, you know, many times as an adult, before I was properly bald like I am now. No, I could have some hair, but it would render me ridiculous. Alright, so I don't know how these work. Why won't they compare? There's something about these that I don't understand. Maybe all of it. Anyway. I don't know what these do. That's, you know, there's an advancement for doing it. It doesn't work. I don't know what they do. I give up again. I could look stuff up, but as soon as I start doing that, I'm probably gonna quit playing the game. Because, like, the joy is discovery, right? The joy is sitting around and doing nothing while you listen to the rainfall. The minute you start trying to figure out how to play a game right, you might as well quit. Or actually get good. And it's too late for Minecraft, right? Like, it's too late to get good at this game. So they're all still fine. Their eyes all glow. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're not gonna oxidize because the air hasn't hit them. I don't know. We'll figure it out. If they end up frozen, then we'll know. And they'll be sorting for a while. That'll be what they do for a living. Because a lot of this would be solved better by, you know, putting several of the things in one box. You know, like here's the spider eye and the string and the rotten flesh box, but, you know. So usually it's toaster oven for whatever. I used to have a toaster oven, and then one day I was like, I said over there, I'm like, do we even want this? Like, I use it, but like, do we want it? Wouldn't it be nice to have more counter space? I was making a lot of bread at this time, and really, not so secretly, I just wanted more counter space on which to make bread. You never think about how much counter space you need until you're trying to knead like 810 grams of dough. I usually made 3 loaves at a time, by preference. Because I would eat like 1, and then I could give 2 away. And it's basically the same amount of effort to make 3 loaves as 1. I mean, it's not. You have to, like, knead it more, but, you know. Say the microwave is such an amazing radiation cooking food. Well, not to get too, I've been in a chemistry class, but it's all radiation cooking your food. You see the radiation of heat, blah, 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 totally making sense. Alright. I'm just so happy we can tell what day it is again. That was really agitating me. I was thinking, is this gonna be it? Is this gonna be when I quit playing Minecraft? They've taken everything from me. And they would be like, I don't even know who you are. I'd be like, no, they did the thing, no. Thinking, I'm like, do I need to do like an auto? I need to do a better setup here in general, right? Because we could do an auto smelter for like the random gold and iron things. I mean, that's not that good, is it? I mean, it isn't. Why would amethyst blocks be there when this one is specifically marked for amethyst blocks? Will be charitable to me and assume that I didn't know that whenever I did that. It's clearly marked. Hey, I'm behind you. You never tour? Sure, sure. Maybe not of the whole world, but we'll take a look around. So here we are. Welcome! This is Spawn Mountain over here. It exists basically in the same state as when we found it, only we've been there several more times. If you see any dirt, Enderman put it there. We've left it as a monument. Here, the cherry tree of spawn, it's at 0, 0. There's a mod called Better of 3. Yes. But anyway, we made this. These are the celebratory cakes. This is cake 300, 400, 500, and 600. No, cake 400, 500, 600, and 700. Those are the numbers of the cakes. The first ones didn't have cakes. I made this little thing. You know, this is just like a little crummy little stone island before I came around. You know, just a little outcropping with some dirt and stuff. But we built a little mini Badlands there, you know. I built these islands in the sky. They're not much. There's some wheat on the inside of this one, you know. In case we ever have to hold up here and hide from our enemies, there's plenty of wheat and carrots, you know. We've got our river here. We dug the whole thing, you know, and... Oh, I built a wall not too long ago. This is one of my proudest accomplishments, this wall. It's all to protect the sleep of one guy. He's named the Dreamer. He'll be coming back to sleep here pretty soon. They're all going to bed. He better be safe. Last I know, he's still totally fine. If anybody kicks him out of his bed, or something bad happens to him, I shall be very put out. Well, I don't know. The Dreamer does sleep there. Maybe he got murked. That's very sad. After all, one of these guys could have shown up at any time. You would have thought the golem would have protected him, but I don't know. Well... That's sad. Maybe he got a different bed. Maybe he's stuck. Maybe he needs our help. Now, we know the dreamer doesn't have a job. And we also know the dreamer should be... he's dreaming in here! Well, you know... That's fine, you know. I guess he's not going to dream here anymore. I'll dream here instead. Can't hear the word wall without thinking of the album Piping Void. That is a good one. That is a good one. I think of many a thing. There's a great song in the musical Hadestown called Why We Build the Wall. There's a great song by the emo band Emery called Walls. That one's good. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, a tour, yeah, here's the Council of Ghasts, you know, where we have the Ghasts. We're working on this a little bit. Not too much. They've all got excellent names, like this one's Archaeologast. And then here's Gormenghast over here, Gaston. This is Gaston, you know. He's got a little red hat. This is his throne. That's the throne of Gengast Khan, you know, we've got a couple horses there. Have they ever seen the Legacy console editions of Minecraft? I got one for a kid once as a present. But I never, like, sat around and watched him play. He was, like, the woman I was dating's friend's son. You know, one of those things. But I got him, like Skyrim and Gears of War. And he was like, Gears of War is a little violent. Can I get Minecraft? I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. And, but like I said, like, I never sat around and watched him play it or anything. I did buy Minecraft on console for someone way back in the day, so I very well may have been those. The game hadn't been out long. I had never heard of it at this point, you know, so it was early in the thing. The Minecraft on the 360, yep, that must have been it. Yeah, because, like... Yeah. And it would have been, what, like 2011, 2012, 2013, one of those years. But yeah. And bought it at, like, you know, one of those used gaming stores. But yeah, anyway. So this is Spawn Mountain, where the mountain goats live. And I built a little rail track. Nothing really came of it. You say I bet the kid still plays it. Like, yeah, you know, I think of that sometimes. I've used about it in some of the very early Minecraft videos where I was just like, you know, how cool it was for me to think that I gave somebody a present that good, you know. Because I'm sure the kid probably would have found Minecraft some other way, but, you know. So I just remember, like, whenever I was a kid, and a couple of times when someone got me a game that, like, I really wanted and how it was just, like, the best thing in the whole world. Or, like, even getting for, like, my birthday where I expected to get something and just, like, getting a game that I didn't know I was gonna get. Like, the best example of this by far is my 5th birthday when I got Final Fantasy. And I didn't, like, really know how to read or anything yet, but I wanted Final Fantasy very much, and I got it. And that is how I learned to read. I need to do a little, like, lapsing overlay thing so I can see how the world used to look. You know, from this angle, it's the same. It's just, like, way more flowers, because I'm very tacky, right? I'm just so very tacky. I'm like, here we'll have a bunch of flowers, and then berry bushes, and then lines of tulips, why not? And then sunflowers, that's good. It's so tacky. I don't care. This is not the mustache of a man who knows when to quit. But I just spend most of my time in Minecraft not doing anything now, and I think that's perfect. Because we're sort of like a retired hero at this point, right? We're just like musing about the past and talking to some good turtles, you know. We put more fish in the lake the other day. Crazy came out then, but you're still a veteran from it. Yeah, you know, it's the way that a game gets adopted. You know, it's slow going. Because like now it's funny to think of not having heard of Minecraft because I only played it, you know, a year ago, a year and 4 months now, I guess. But you know, it's funny to think of a time where, like, I hadn't heard of Minecraft. Kids just, like, explain to me what it's like. I'm like, yeah, sure, that sounds cool. And I'm thinking, you want that more than a game with guns that goes bow, 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 bow. Because I didn't really know him well, you know. I just thought, you know, like, what would me at this age have wanted? I'm like, swords and guns, you know. Give him Skyrim and Gears of War. How would I feel about taking my sheets and editing them down into properly produced videos? I would feel way too lazy to ever do it. I've never edited a video, actually. Not ever in my whole life, of any kind. I got a program, and then it was just, like, very daunting, and then I turned it off, and I never turned it on again. You know, it contributes to the enthusiastically amateurish vibe. Which is really just pure laziness and, you know, disguised as authenticity. Like, because they'll, you know, they don't do the best job sorting sometimes. I mean, it's fine, but see, these aren't the same. But the one I was saying is like these melon seeds. There's definitely one with slightly more melon seeds right here, but that's my fault. Because if you seed them with the right item, they'll never put something wrong into it. It's just sometimes they won't find it. Came down for yourself for a while because the school pays you to do it. Nice. See, I'm doing it because you have so much creative freedom. See, that's the thing, is I feel like I have plenty of creative freedom now. But really, it's just, to me, editing a video is a thing I don't know how to do. Which means I would have to spend my time learning how to do it. And I want to spend my time playing games, you know? That's really what it comes down to. Is that a bat just flying around? Lonely little guy. Steep learning curve. Yeah, you know, I still don't know how to play the game. I just, I know how to play safely enough to get armor I know how to play safely enough to get Prot 16. Oh, okay. He was editing. Yeah, I like... I don't even remember what it was. But I was trying to put something together. And... of a stream that already existed. And I was just like, oh, none of this makes sense at all. I'm just gonna turn this off. And then I never opened it up again. You know, I wonder. I guess it's time for bed. Like, I'm feeling all bleak, and I'm like, no, you're just tired. You don't think that your Minecraft world is meaningless. That's the opposite of what you think. It's day 7:53. It'd be ridiculous to start believing that now. Well, you know the gang. Where's Garuda at? A seed for the boss. Pets for Bella and Atropa. And of course, I now invite you all to sit, stand, kneel, or dance for the national anthem, Other Side by Lena Raine. Me and Luca will probably dance a little bit. It's always nice to come play Minecraft even when I don't do anything at all. Because the music's so good. And it's rained a lot in this playthrough, and the rain sound is very nice. What did we even do? We flew around, we planted a very small amount of wheat. We put some crystallium down. We learned what F3 plus F6 does. That's good. And, you know, sometimes it's just nice to come in and see all your Minecraft pets anyway. The copper golems, you know, that room, how well is it even gonna work? I bet it'll work fine. I bet after the first random thrown stuff in there, we can just sort of make it a little better in an ad hoc sort of manner. I do like the idea of eventually, like, you know, we could have different warehouse rooms. At what point are you actually just being organized, though? Say you missed your Stardew Valley playthrough because of your wife, Abigail. Abigail was great. I married Leah, of course. You should launch the game and give her a piece of this. Well, that's her favorite, you know. She was cool. I liked her. I just liked Leah's character a whole lot. I was gonna play Stardew the other day, but like I had been playing with the sound off because I was like on my old thing that's made like 9 million gold or whatever, and I was just macroing it up and doing some avocado juicing or whatnot. So you're considering going by Abby instead of your PR because of Stardew? Well, you know, go for it. I often thought of changing my name to something cooler. I never did it though. My name's dumb. It's fine. I shouldn't talk too bad about it because somebody out there besides me has this name and I don't want them to feel bad about it. I just think it's a lame name. I know this dude. He's called Alex, and he thought his name wasn't cool. I'm like, your name is Alexander. Like, I just wanted to grab him by his shoulders and shake him. I'm like, you've got the great name. And then I started singing a Pixie song to him called Alec Eiffel, and he looked at me like I was crazy, which, fair. But anyway, if you don't know the Pixie song Alec Eiffel, it's very strange and wonderful. It's a story about Alexander Eiffel, the architect, who designed the Eiffel Tower. People kept getting a name wrong. Ah, well, that is a shame. Well, hey, at least you have this name now. And, hey, if you want to go with Abby later, I'm sure that'll suit you just fine, too. I often thought of going by a different name, and then I was like, no, people will just assume I'm up to malfeasance. That is a very cool name. I never met this kid, but I know that he exists from, like, word of mouth. But there's a little boy called Bane that, is a vague acquaintance of my niece's, which I think is very awesome. But the sunrise is here. We're just looking out the window and talking, which is as normal as a Minecraft playthrough can be for me. Bane, like in Batman. Or like in the phrase, the bane of all existence. The day is 753, and all's well. People said we would never make it. They said, go try to fight the Wither. They thought I was gonna die. Bane of arthropods, the Minecraft gen. Exactly. Well, kind of want to just sit here and look out the Minecraft window. See, some people are like, why don't you go outside? And I'm like, I go outside all the time in Minecraft. No, I mean, I got the same stuff out there that I got in here, right? Bane of Arthropods, the Minecraft enchantment. I wonder if there's ever a time when that's the right choice. I wonder. If I made a mod, I would make it where Bane of Arthropods was good. There would be all sorts of horrifying bugs. It would be straight out of Hollow Knight. And Bane of Arthropods would be S tier. Everything else would be like a toy sword that you would give to a villager. But anyway. Good night, Mr. Pump. More seeds for the boss. We're just gonna go say goodnight to the mooshes and to Doug. You know, I did spend a lot of time on that room. We used to just be in that tiny little box of a house, right? Until we improved it. Baby Moosh. Where's Moosha Smalls? Moosha Smalls. Together they are the singer-songwriter and rapping duo. The hip-hop hippopotamus and the rhinoceros, as it were. They are big stars. Of course, they mainly rap in Moosh, so nobody knows what they say, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. It's so perfect. It's snowing here at the Roof of the World. A good old time. Here with the cherry trees and the mountain goats, it brings to mind the big questions in life. How did we get here? Where are we going? What is the best song by the mountain goats? There's many schools of thought. I think maybe Autoclave is the best Mountain Goats song. So Autoclave is a song off of Heretic Pride, which is like '08, if memory serves. A wonderful track with a really, sort of rousing instrumental section in there with it. And Autoclave is like a device for steam and pressure cleaning, like medical equipment or like chemistry supplies, right? Think close a door, hear a little hiss, and burn it up. And he uses that as a metaphor to talk about his own heart being an autoclave. And he goes through the story of, of the song. And the last verse is, I dreamed that I was standing on a throne of human skulls, on a cliff above the ocean, howling wind, and screeching seagulls. And the dream went on forever, one single static frame. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And I am this great unstable mass of blood and foam. And no one in her right mind would make her home my home. My heart's an autoclave. My heart's an autoclave. So, Autoclave might be the best Mountain Goats song. It's real good. When you listen to the way that, the chorus changes a couple words, just like a sort of, progressive lyricism there, and the different ways that he uses metaphor in the verses to get it there, it's just really wonderful. What do I think I'll do if I die in this world? I will make another one. That's what I'd do. That's what I did when we lost. That's what I did when we lost World 334, and that's what I'll do if we lose this one. Say I'd be the most famous Greek philosopher for the time period. Well, you know, Froggy, I don't know. Because I am... First of all, it's wonderful for you to say that. It really is. But... You know, we're all a product of the things that came before us, so... Although it is very flattering to imagine that I would measure up there without all of the good work that they and the people after them have done, I wouldn't be able to have cobbled together what passes for my wisdom and what is really the wisdom of the ancients, distilled as I do into my own life. But I cannot flatter myself that I have created any of the ideas that I bring forth to you, although it is nice to think that I could if somebody else hadn't thought of it first. You know, it's like, man, I could have invented an airplane if those jerks didn't invent the airplane. Of course, sometimes it's like that. You know, the telephone famously could have been invented by a couple of dudes, and I don't care who did it. It's not important. I mean, it was to them. Anyway. That's all I've got for you today. Or for right now, anyway. I must rest. But I'll be up in the morning. I might stream then. It's hard to say. I go into work a little early on Sundays typically, so I may not. But tomorrow afternoon, we'll be doing Geometry Sundash. Planning on starting that at about 5 Central Time. And then some other stuff throughout the afternoon and night as well. So perhaps we'll see you there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You know, I really hope you've enjoyed. And I know I did. So, hope you have a good night. See ya, Froggy. See ya, I'm behind you. Later, Caster and Create. Bye, Poison, if you're still around. It's been nice seeing everyone, and maybe I'll see you in another... Can I try to stream Sundash either earlier or later? I can't really do it earlier. Can't really do it earlier. And I'm sorry, man. I might not. I kind of already had it budgeted in my head to do it then, but yeah. But I'll be sorry if I miss you on it, but maybe we'll do it a bit earlier. It depends. If I get out of work at a decent hour, I'll try to start at like 4 or something. But I got like the last block of the day planned up because I want to play a bunch of Hades. But anyway, we'll see how it works out. But yeah. Anyway, Froggy, I'll see you around. Enjoy your wrench. I trust you'll always use it for good. And you know, I'm sure you will. Yeah. Make sure you use your powers for righteousness and for, you know, making everybody have a good time. Anyway, see ya. Good night, and I will see you when I see you. To anyone who's watching in the future, thanks for sticking around. I hope the weather's nice, and there'll be more Minecraft soundtrack in the future. Words are hard to say, that's why I'm going to stop saying them right now.